Hello, it's Mama Robin. Welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. And if you're new, I'm Mama Robin, or I've actually kind of changed it to Texas Beach Mom. Either way, um, if you've never been here before, I mostly talk about toxic relationships and how to identify them, how to escape them, because I have experience in that. But sometimes I like to cover other topics. And I know it's early in the morning, and I know I look rough, but I've got a lot to do today, and I wanted to knock out part 2 of the video from the day before. We talked about all the well, not all the channels, a lot of the channels that talk about Chris Watts. And we talked about them because a lot of them like to bash Shannan. Like I said, Meredith's 2 cents just likes to nitpick on her, just picked on her nails, her hair, her makeup, everything. And I feel like the woman's just crazy. That's just a personal opinion, and she can call me crazy and it ain't gonna bother me. Like I said, Nick's Peaks says that they're just presenting the truth. They're just doing the truth. But they present it in a negative light on Shannan. They make it sound like it's Shannan's fault. They say they don't bash her or victim blame, but then they turn right around and say, well, she was in an MLM, and those are evil. She was spending too much money, and she was scamming people. And as I've said, there's proof she's in the MLM. There's no proof that she's intentionally scamming people. I honestly believe that she believed in the product. I really do. I do. Then there's ones about she abused those children because she wouldn't let them eat sweets and stuff when they wanted to. Well, that's not abuse, honey. That's not abuse. That is simply not abuse. That she would let them eat those Strife bars, but they supposedly had tree nut allergies. I don't know if they actually had the tree nut allergies or not. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe they weren't severe. My oldest daughter was diagnosed as being, or we found out the hard way, that she was allergic to strawberries at around 2. And she didn't become allergic. Like, she can eat strawberries now, it's no problem. But we discovered that different amounts of strawberries cause different reactions. And sometimes she would eat strawberries as she grew up, and it didn't bother her at all. And sometimes she would have a mild reaction. But when she was younger, it was a much stronger reaction. So maybe the kids had a tree nut allergy, and maybe they didn't. And maybe it depended on what they ate and how much they ate of it. That's a thing. So quit going, well, just because the tree nut allergies and this stuff has more out. No, because allergies do weird shit, and I know that for a fact. I know it from experience. Nick's Peaks picks out the things that, she was overbearing, she was mean to Chris, blah 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 blah. No, she could be overbearing and dominating, and she said so. She owned up to it. But I saw a lot of their stuff is just normal couple banter. Now, as far as him not being him being a pussy, not being able to take it, that's fact. He could have stood up for himself. Granted, she shouldn't have put the kids in the videos. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but she did. But we don't judge people for that. There's no reason to judge her Nick's Peaks. You're putting a microscope over her life, and you really shouldn't. I'm sure we would turn up some skeletons in your closet as well. If Chris wasn't comfortable, again, we do agree that he's a pussy, but he could have had a private talk with her off camera and then not turn into a fight. Depending on how he approached it, he could have brought it up to her, and she probably would have said, "Oh, Chris, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't even think about it that way." Pretty sure she would have. As far as abusing the kids, she abused the kids because she used Baby Wise. Yeah, she did. And there's a lot of pediatricians that recommend Baby Wise still, and I didn't use Baby Wise per se, but I used some of the ideas, and they worked out great for my kids. Putting your kids on a sleep schedule and an eating schedule is not abuse. It's helping them turn into adults. I'm sorry. So if you don't like baby wipes, that's fine. You don't have to like it. But don't call her abusive because she used it. Duh. And as far as the Benadryl and the Tylenol, okay, please. My pediatrician actually recommended it. She said, if you're having problems getting your little one sleep, you can use Tylenol and Benadryl occasionally to help induce sleep. As long as, and there's no proof, absolutely none, that she used it every night. You have no proof. You have hearsay. You have hearsay, speculations, and theories. So Nick's Peaks, if you have proof, bring me the receipts. Bring them. I dare you to bring absolute solid proof. Because you ain't got it. You know how I know you ain't got it? Because the only people in that house that know are Chris and Shannan. Chris is in prison and Shannan's dead. So you ain't got no proof. Well, she locked those kids in rooms. That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Because there'd been no way for those kids to get up in the middle of the night and check on Shannan if they'd been locked in their rooms. So keep that in mind next time you're running your big mouth. And yes, I said big mouth. I said fighting words. I said fighting words because in the first video, I did quote that Spunky Brewster from Crimes and Crafting said that she was here to pick a fight. And I said, I'm here to help her out. I'm helping her out. Because the more I think about that matter, that makes me. So if you don't like me, bring it. Go ahead. I'm ready for it. I'm in that mood today. I am more than ready for it. I've been bullied by the most narcissistic man I've ever could imagine being bullied by. And I survived him. So you're nothing. Go ahead and bring it. Bring your proof. Bring it all. Bring your insults if you want. Tell me how fat and ugly I am. Tell me my teeth are messed up. I don't give a shit. You're not going to hurt my feelings any. So anything that you alleged in your videos that I find to be bullshit, bring receipts. Don't just show me clips of a video and go, see, she was abusive, because that's not a receipt. That's you taking a video, that's you taking a clip from a video and going, I can prove abuse with this. Unless there's a video with her smacking that kid around or yelling at it like it's an unwanted dog or something, then you ain't got no proof. So skip to the loo, my darling. Get on down the road. I covered Unjustified very briefly because they're a lot like Nick's Peaks. Not quite as harsh, almost. I call her for WhatsApp session for the same thing because Kelly does the same thing. So say, I don't believe in victim blaming and I don't believe in bashing people when they're dead. And she turns right around and then says, well, if she'd have done this, this, and this better or differently, had she not been so overbearing, or I felt like she was very hard on Bella. She called Bella a little mama. Bella's not a mama, Bella's a child. Well, no shit, Kelly. We know she's a fucking child. We also know not to take it literally. I called my oldest one little mama, but that doesn't mean I thought she was a mama. That doesn't mean I put the pressure on her being a mom. She was kind of motherly, so I called her little mama. And that's a common term with a lot of people, so don't even go there with that crap. And she brings up a lot of the points that Nick's Peaks and Unjustified does, and she tries to say, well, if she didn't do this, or she didn't know that, or blah, 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 she wouldn't be dead today. That's victim blaming. Kelly, so if you don't know what victim blaming is, fucking look it up. And then you said something about, well, I know Chris Watts better than anybody because I studied hours and hours and hours and hours of these videos. And I'm a behavioral analyst or whatever the fuck you said you were. Whatever. You don't know Chris Watts. You know why I know you don't know him? Because you weren't married to anybody like him. I don't even have to know that in your past. Because if you were married to somebody like him, you would know him a lot better than you do. So don't sit around on your fucking pedestal going, oh, I don't victim blame, and I don't allow it. I don't allow it. And then turn right around and do it. And to be perfectly honest, I'm trying to cut you some slack. I honestly believe it in your heart that you think you're doing right by pointing out her negatives. And there is a way to bring up the truth. And there is a way to point out some of the negatives without making it sound so damn negative. There's a way to do it without sounding like you're blaming her. And that's what you do, is you blame her. You say you don't, but then you'll turn around the next breath after you say you don't blame her and you blame her. But then after you blame her, then you come after people who blame her. But I honestly believe that a lot of yours is just the way you word it. I don't believe that you set out to hurt. And if you have proof of something that your videos claim, like abuse or something, Kelly, bring them. Bring them. And then we talked about very briefly about Michelle After Dark. I've only seen a couple of her videos, and they're good videos, so I don't have any problems. Plunder, I've only seen one or two of hers, and again, never had any problems. ATS, Amber, Truth Seeker. I watch her videos every chance I get. I think she covers this watch thing very well. I think she does have some weird conspiracy, but as she states, they're just in her opinion. She says they're theories, and she says it's just in her opinion, and that we are free to agree or disagree with her. And I see her point on where she got to that theory, but I don't always agree with the theory. But however, she doesn't victim blame Shannan. She does bring up the truth. She does bring up the facts without blaming Shannan. She's more educational about it, which is probably the best way to handle it. And then there's Swoop and Bailey Sarian. Did a decent job of giving a breakdown of the case. Bailey's was a short breakdown. Swoop's was more intensive. But they both did a good job. They didn't do any victim blaming. And I think they personally would come for you if they heard you victim blaming. Let's see. Who else have I seen? Swoop and Bailey certainly did pretty good. I'm trying to remember all the people I watched, because I watched a lot of videos. I have probably watched more videos than Kelly had, and I've watched them from different angles and different perspectives. Then there's, I am so sorry. I apologize up front. I always get this turned around, so I don't know if it's the House Huddle or Huddle House. But her videos are highly educational. She does point out the facts. She does bring up things that other people bring up, but she brings them up in an educational manner, and it doesn't seem like victim blaming. She seems like she's trying to teach you. And I will agree with the majority of the people that have said, well, I feel like Shannan did this and this and this wrong, but had she been allowed to live, had she been allowed to learn and allowed to grow, she probably would have learned from her mistakes and gotten better. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Her life was cut too damn short. Thank you, Chris Watts. Oh, and by the way, your birthday was yesterday, so fuck off. Then the other three that are really, really good, I mean, phenomenal, do phenomenal work, are Real Killers, Dreading, and Beyond Criminal Minds. I can't remember. It's early and I'm tired. I can't remember if it's Behind Criminal Minds or Beyond. I think it's Behind Criminal Minds. All three of them do phenomenal jobs. They bring up the facts, they point out the things that we need to know, and they don't sound like they're blaming Shannan. They explain it. They talk about it in a way that most people don't. Women are, and all three of those are run by men. Yeah, I would think it would be men doing the victim blaming, but it's women. And women, we're not supposed to be blaming each other. We're supposed to be lifting each other up. For Pete's sake. And then let's not forget Zawoki. He seems like a very nice person. And his intentions are probably, just the highest. He needs a little work. We all need a little work. He needs a little work. I get a little frustrated with his video. Sometimes when I get frustrated, I don't leave mean comments or anything. I just turn it off and go to another video, which is what more of us should be doing. We shouldn't be leaving nasty, mean comments. No. We should be leaving constructive criticism or uplifting comments, but never be mean. There's no reason to be mean about it. That goes for you, Meredith's 2 cents. So that's the channels I've covered, the extent of what I've covered. Now to get on with what I don't think happened. I don't know if Chris killed the kids or not. I honestly believe NK, Nicole Kessinger, probably was one that actually killed the kids. I do believe that she actually killed them first, or thought she killed them. Remember, he said something about he thought they were dead, but then they came back. I think she did that. I think she tried either, and I would have to go back and read the discovery again or look at some more videos. I can't remember. I remember him saying something about he thought they were dead and they came back. I think it was NK that smothered them, or tried to smother them and they came back. I really do. I really do. I'm not trying to give him a pass because I believe with all my heart he was a covert narcissist. And I believe that they were part of the plan. Now, let me talk about that. That's really what I want to get down to. A lot of people keep saying, oh, they couldn't be part of the plan. I can't imagine him doing that. They had to have happened afterwards. They just got caught in the crossfire because they're looking for excuses to explain why a man killed his own children. Well, if he's the covert narcissist that most psychiatrists will tell you they think he is, or most therapists will tell you this, a lot of people in the with a medical background will tell you they believe he's a covert narcissist, and they'll give pinpoints onto why they feel this way. But because I was married to a malignant narcissist, and I did it for 11 years, and I went through every cycle of abuse you can go through with a narcissist, and I came out alive, because here I am talking about it. Well, let me finish. I digress. Unless you've lived with a narcissist, you don't understand this. And it took me a long time to not only understand it, but even after I would read, I've got makeup smeared on my face. I literally just woke up out of bed. Yeah, that's gone. I just woke up out of bed and I wanted to hurry up and get this done. So, but because, unless you live with them, and there's things I learned about my ex that I still go back and reread and go, no. Like deep in my heart, I know it's true, but as I'm reading it, I'm like, no, there's no way he could be that horrible, but he was. Most psychiatrists and psychologists will tell you that narcissists, and here's the kicker, they don't love their spouse. They don't love their own kids, and they don't love their own parents. If they're that deep into it, they don't love anybody but themselves, literally. And I don't even truly believe they love themselves. I believe that I don't believe they love themselves. I believe they loathe themselves, but they still want to put themselves up. But let me explain to you some things about Chris. I believe the kids were part of the plan, and let me tell you why. A lot of people go, so many people go, why didn't he just get a divorce? That would have been so much easier. Well, he thought about divorce. He thought about it. And he knew a few things he thought about. This is what I'm telling you, this is what his brain came to the conclusion of. And everybody needs to take what I'm about to say, and you need to think about it. At least give it thought. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. But don't dismiss it. Think about it. And think about it from somebody that was married to a narcissist for 11 years. It took me 11 years to physically get away from him. It took me many years before I realized how much danger I was in. Once I realized I was in danger, it took me 11 years to get out of it. And it took me time to get out of it. But we're not discussing me. I'll cover that in a video coming up soon. That's what I'm going to tell you. He thought about divorce. Well, first of all, he was weighing his life with Nikki. He wanted to life with Nikki, and she wanted to give him his first child. They both lie. They both go back and forth. So I don't know who told the truth, but based on what I can piece together, she wanted to give him his first son, and this and that, and the other. She didn't like the kids. She didn't want the kids interrupting their new life together. She wanted a life with Chris, and she wanted a similar life to Shannan, but she didn't want Shannan's house. She didn't want Shannan's kids. She wanted her house with Chris. She wanted her life with Chris. And she wanted her own kids with Chris. That was one of the biggest catalysts about this. But they were disposable to him because he can make more. That literally is how he feels about it. He can make more. He can make more. And I remember one of the first questions my ex-husband asked me before we got together. He said, "Can you have kids?" Because he was estranged from his family. His kids didn't have anything to do with him. His kids wanted nothing to do with him. Now I know why. But his kids wanted nothing to do with him. So the first question she asked me was, "Can you have kids still?" And I said, "No." I brought him my tubes tight. He said, "That's okay, we'll adopt." Needless to say, it didn't happen. But I didn't even try. But I said, "Well, I got kids of mine." And he goes, "Yeah, but they're grown. I want a son. I want a son, and I want you to be the mother." I should have seen that as a big flashing light, red flag, but I didn't. Anyhow, oh, there's little Destiny. Say hello, Destiny. Oops, I gotta open my thing. Say hello, Destiny. Hi, Mom. Are you gonna stop talking on the phone and come out and take me for a walk? Yes, Destiny, I will in a minute. So, let me wrap this up. So, with Chris, they were disposable. I hate to tell people this because people go, "Oh no, there's no way he could feel that way." But yeah, he did. He can make more. They were part of the plan because they were in his way. They were in the way of what he wanted. He wanted that life with Nikki. I don't know why. The giggle alone should have sent him screaming into the night. But it didn't. He craved her. He wanted her. Had to have her. And one of the things that a narcissist does is they usually there's 4 cycles to a narcissist relationship. Love bombing. He did that with Shannan. He did it with Nicole. Honeymoon phase. Their honeymoon phase, him and Shannan's lasted for years. That honeymoon phase can go anywhere from days to weeks to months to even years. His honeymoon phase with Shannan lasted a long time. Then there's the devaluing phase. That happens after the honeymoon phase. And that's usually when the fighting starts getting bad. Because they're devaluing you. They gaslight you. "Oh, I miss you too, boo." And then there's the discarding phase. Now, in my case, I got lucky. Mine just would up and leave for a day, a week, a month, whatever. But when his discarding phase was over with and he was ready to come home, the love bombing would start, and then the honeymoon phase, so forth, so on. When he got his discarding phase, he discarded them. Literally discarded them. He could make more kids, and he knew it. That's all it meant to him. He wanted kids because of the way they made him feel. Not because he loved kids or wanted kids, because it brought him a feeling. Narcissists crave that emotional high. And they have people in their lives that give them that emotional high. And if you don't give them that emotional high, they don't want you in their life anymore. They don't want you, period. Period, point blank, end of story, end of argument. But I do believe that they were part of the plan because they were in his way. He discarded them. He could make more kids. It wasn't a problem. Hello, Destiny. I do see you. 5 minutes. My big one hasn't come in to walk yet. When she starts talking to me about walking, it's time to go. But I know I'm abusive because I'm not taking them right away. I'm doing a video first. I needed to knock this out of the ballpark this morning and get it done. But anyway, he discarded them. They were part of the plan. He wanted them gone because he could start a new life with Nikki. Here's the things he considered. Divorce, maybe. But then he would have to put up with Shannan for the next 18 years, minimum. on probably an average of once a week, telling him how to clean the house, telling him how to take care of the kids, paying child support that he couldn't afford, blah, 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 blah. He didn't want to do that. If he could make it look like she left, and if she could make it look like she took the kids with her, then he gets all the woe is me. Poor Chris, his wife, his pregnant wife, took the kids and she left him, and now he's all by himself. So he confided in his friend Nicole at work, and it turned into a relationship. That's how he does that. Then he gradually starts including her in things, gradually. And unbeknownst to anybody, they fell in love. That's how that works in his head. He was married to one. So he had to get rid of them so that it can make it look like Shannan took the kids and she ran. That way he gets all the, oh, poor Chris, poor baby, you were abandoned by your wife, and she took those beautiful babies with her. You poor thing. So as I just said, he consoles, he confides in a friend from work named Nicole. She consoles him. They become lovers. And then he has a new wife and new kids, and nobody thinks anything about it. But he had to get rid of the wife and the kids first. So he did. The other thing that he considered was if he just simply asked for a divorce, Shannan will figure out that he was cheating. She'll tell people. And he'll look bad in everybody's eyes. You shameful man. You cheated on your pregnant wife. You're a horrible man. And then you left her for another woman. You're a horrible man, Chris. He knew he would face that. And narcissists cannot look bad to anyone. So I know what you're thinking. Well, Robin, by killing people, he looks worse. He didn't think he'd get caught. He believed from the very beginning that he could pull this off. He was smart enough to pull this off. He could do this with no problems and he would never get caught. He believed this. He believed it. He believed it. He believed it. He believed it with all his heart. So he figured he'd kill the Shannan babies, get rid of them, completely get rid of them, have them gone. He would get the woe is me's. He would get all the poor babies. He would get the love, the attention, the admiration. But if he leaves her, he doesn't get any of that. He gets, you cheating bastard. You cheated on me, and now I'm going to tell everyone. And she would have. She'd have been on Facebook in a minute. And she'd have got an attorney, and she'd have made sure he didn't see those kids, or if he did, it would have been supervised, or she'd have been riding his ass. And you know it. I'm not blaming Shannan. And I'm not even bashing her. I'm just telling you what she is. I don't mind telling the truth about her, but don't make it sound so horrible. Sneaks peeks and present facts. This one's not facts. I'll admit it. But don't tell us they're facts and then they're not. I'm not telling you these are facts. I'm just my opinion. She'd have wrote his ass. It's my opinion that she would have made his life miserable. It's my opinion. He wouldn't have liked divorce. So there were several things to consider. Divorce? No. But if they disappear, I get love and I get sympathy and I get support. And being the discarding phase is the fourth phase, he discarded them. I'm sorry to tell people this. Now, this obviously is just my opinion, but it's an opinion from a woman that survived it. And let me add a little piece of information or advice. Just my opinion. I believe that if Shannan left when he gave her the first clues, I believe she'd be alive today. I believe when he said, I don't love you, I don't think we're compatible, I don't want this anymore, I believe she'd have left, she'd be alive. I also believe wholeheartedly that I believe if she left, she'd be alive. I believe that had she just left. Said, fine, give me some time to get it out. I think he'd have left her alone. I think she'd be alive today. But she didn't. She didn't listen to him. And I do think that maybe if she'd have just left, the divorce thing might have worked for him. Might have. But come in it, she didn't leave. She wouldn't go anywhere. She wouldn't leave him alone. She wouldn't take the kids. She wouldn't get out. And he wanted his new life. And she was in the goddamn way. And those kids were in the fucking way. So he got rid of them. Now, I don't have facts on any of this. But like I said, this comes from a woman that's been there. All I'm asking people to do is take my thoughts, put them in your head, marinate them, roll them around for a little bit. Give it some open-minded thought from an experienced survivor. And to anybody that watches this, if you know anybody in those channels, and you don't think they're going to like what I said, tell them. Tell them. Let them leave me a comment. I'll give them a way to get home if they want to talk it out. I'm not afraid of anybody. They're not going to come to my house, and if they do, they've got a horrible surprise. But you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to end this on an angry note. I'm going to end this on a happy note. I hope everybody in their life is happy. And if you're not, examine why you're not. Figure out what's wrong and try to fix it. And if you can't fix it, then get away from it. Just go away. Change your life. Change your name, change your hair, change your address. Change it all. Go away. Everybody be happy. Everybody find peace. And you know what? Everybody have a beautiful and blessed day. I'll be back in a week. I've got more things I want to talk about. Y'all have a great time. My daughter's coming in town today. She's coming down to see me from Austin. I'm going to have a great day. I want everybody to have a beautiful day. I want everybody to have a great week. Hell, I want everybody to have a great life. Have some fun. Enjoy your life. Don't let shit get you down. This is Mama Robin, and I love you.